So I want to talk to you a little more about burnout and how that looks. So I'm Megan, I'm a business scaling mentor with a difference, and I help successful business owners scale or completely pivot in their business, but depending on who they are and what they want, and to do it safely and aligned. So burnout is one of those things that a lot of people are facing now, and it's impacting the levels of sickness, mental health issues, physical health issues. And in my past videos, I've spoken about the detrimental effect of chronic stress and how that changes our DNA to survive. Burnout is a symptom of this. So what burnout looks like for each individual can vary significantly. It can be you're really numb or you're really emotional. It could be that physically you feel exhausted, or physically you feel like you've got this kind of motor running that you can't seem to stop. And it's like that nervous, anxiety-filled energy that you're running off constantly and you just can't seem to switch off. It's that inflammation in the body. You have stomach issues, you get constant headaches, you could feel completely detached from yourself, completely detached from others around you. You could feel as if your life's kind of running in a motion picture in front of you and you're not quite in it. Really snappy, really irritated, very, very short fuse, or very much you can't seem to grasp what people are saying. I know for me, there was a kind of a mixture of everything. One minute, I couldn't quite catch what people were saying because I wasn't taking it in. I didn't have the capacity to take it in. I had to ask people to constantly repeat themselves. Or I'd be running off this nervous energy and not feel like I could stop. Like when I was sleeping, I felt like I should be doing something. For me, unfortunately, that did lead to things like miscarriages, constant illnesses month after month after month. There was never kind of this let up. I was really irritated with my kids, snappy at home. Some people are really snappy with staff. And it could be a whole host of things. It's your body's way of saying you have completely burnt out your nervous system, you've completely been misaligned, you've completely got to a point in your body where you can no longer carry on the way you've been carrying on. Similar to it being bespoke to everyone, that's how you recover from it. We hear about these kind of 2, 3, 4 ways to get over burnout, but ultimately you can never guarantee that. And that is why the approach that I do is completely different, because I bring in so many different modalities and kind of mix them up and work with the individual on how to best resolve this kind of burnout stage. Ultimately though, what it is something is not aligned in your business, life or body. So it could be a whole host of things. It could have been building up over years and you just wasn't aware of it because you've chosen not to be aware of it, and those little signals you kind of put down to the stress of business. Don't get me wrong, running a business is stressful, right? It's naturally very stressful, but the stress for your goal, if you know exactly what that is, it ends up being worth it. It ends up, you know why you're doing it. I can sacrifice this to get to another place. But what so many people have done is create these businesses based off what they think they want them to look like, and then they're wrong. So they burn out, they ruin their bodies, they ruin parts of their life, like the relationships, people, colleagues. They might have ruined those relationships, got rid of the wrong people, etc., etc. There's so much to it. Get to a point of like, why did I do that? Was it worth it? No, it wasn't worth it. You have to know what you're doing it for, and you have to know when to push your energy and when to pull back. If you don't know that and you're not aware of, and I'm talking energy that's really deep down, because so many of us take on other people's images of us and we believe it to be true. So we kind of understand ourselves from other people's perspectives. That's never going to work. That's never going to work, because there'll be, for me, Megan's so strong. Megan can do anything. She can speak to anyone. She can do whatever. She'll be all right. She'll be all right. She'll be all right. I took that on, completely ignored the signs that were saying the complete opposite. And you don't, being vulnerable, putting up boundaries and saying no to people and actually doing things that I want to do instead of what everyone else wants me to do doesn't mean I'm not strong. In fact, it's the opposite. The fact that I kept on saying yes to everything and just getting over everything meant that something was wrong. So it's not the way we perceive being strong. A good mum, a good dad, a good partner can vary so much significantly between one person to the next. That's why we can't ignore who we are. And we always seem to put that to the background. Like, I know who I am, I know what business I want X, Y, and Z. But unless you know that, you're going to then burn out for the wrong reasons. And nothing is worth losing your health over. Nothing is worth having your body break down for. I don't care how rich you are. I don't care how much money you make. Nothing is more important. You cannot put a price on your health. If you hear these people like, yes, you have to just keep working. Yes, you work 7 days a week. You need to know your individual energy levels. You need to know who you are. You need to know how your body responds to be able to give yourself that space to avoid burnout. Burnout isn't something we have to go through in order to be successful. We're doing it wrong. If we think that's just a normal part of the process, it's wrong. It sets us back for ages. The amount of times we're ill, those snappy conversations, reacting instead of responding, like all of these different things, we can avoid that, and it will save us time. It will make us more productive. It will make us more aligned. We'll work in a better way. We'll attract better people. That burnout doesn't have to be the case. That burnout isn't a byproduct of running a business. It doesn't have to be that way. And that's why we need to start listening. And the first thing we need to listen to is our bodies. And that's why my approach is very different, because body first, business last. And that kind of seems a bit weird for people, but the people that I've worked with now completely understand why.